although they're still squabbling back and forth about it. You know, they have so much as admitted, and boy, Stalin really wanted to get him, and but supposedly they didn't get Hitler's body, and so my theory is that Hitler was provided with a comfortable place in Kassel, Germany, for the rest of his life.
Why not?
Why not? Beautiful area, and the site of the monument to the Holocaust. What better place? What better place to live? You know. And plus, I met people who were friends with Adolf Hitler. I met a man who was. This was really odd that this guy popped up when he did. But when I was coming back from Europe in 1975, a man approached me at the La Fonda in Santa Fe and told me that he was a good friend. I don't know why. Why did he do this? You know, it was the CIA. The CIA at that time was trying to hire me. So this guy shows up and he said, I've been a lifelong friend of Adolf Hitler, and I've lived in Bavaria since 1938. And I'm on my way back there. And he was an American, and but he was among Hitler's personal friends. And so I thought, well, this is really odd. You know, how is it that this guy approaches me and
how do you feel
tells me that? Huh?
How do you have
it was part of the CIA thing.
So you feel that
it was a CIA thing? You know, it's like when I went to Italy. Okay.
Kind of to drop you a line, just
it's
to
like
mess
when
with
I went to the port of Naples. Okay, I had my baggage. I got off of this Yugoslavian freighter, and I got ready to go through customs, and the Italian customs man said, "You're a very famous man, Mr. Lyne. You can go right on through."
Wow.
And
how about that?
So then when I got to Rome, at the railway station in Rome, after I got off the train, this old mafioso guy approaches me and said, I love America. I would very much like to come back to America if the government ever permits me. But I'm here to tell you that you are protected. If you ever need help, my room is there in that building. Just ask for me. And I don't remember his name, but he looked like somebody like old Lucky Luciano or somebody, you know. Wow. Of course, Lucky was killed, but he was an old mafia guy who had been kicked out of the country, and he was working for the CIA to work his way back, you know. And he wanted me to know that I had protection, and that was your CIA, that was your George Bush, you know.
I would assume they would know your movements in and out of
It
cities.
was horrible.
Anybody's
I couldn't get away from them. They tried to get me at work in the movie industry there. They tried to get me to infiltrate German terrorist groups. There was all kinds of stuff going on. These were like people that worked for Time Life.
And this is because of your family connections that
it was because of George Bush and the CIA, you know. I mean, my first cousin was Bush's secretary for 5 years, but my first in-laws apparently were big buddies with the Bushes. And Bush had just decided that I was going to be one of his people, and I don't know, maybe I'd have ended up being Secretary of Defense if I'd have said yes, but I wouldn't have any part of it. Boy, they don't like no for an answer, but it was just the weirdest bunch of stuff you ever saw, and I couldn't get away from it. They were everywhere. I realized that I was surrounded by all these intelligence spooks and stuff when I was in.
They like to keep to their own, so.
Yeah, they were actually, even though they were posing as all sorts of stuff, you know, actors and so forth, but they were all on part of it.
Art students.
Yeah.
Right.
There weren't any art students. The art thing had really burned out in Germany. But, yeah, I could go on and on about that. I don't want to blow the cover on some of these people. They're nice people, but they're
mixed up with
bad
stuff.
Bad circles. You know, you can't lie down with dogs without getting up with fleas.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd like to thank Mr. Lyne for being our guest on the 33rd Parallel. I hope there are many who feel as I do, that it's a good and healthy thing to entertain alternative views on items of such importance as our world history and scientific progress. This is, in fact, the primary objective of this video series. I hope you found it worthwhile, and remember, a good conspiracy depends on your cooperation. Thank you.